Barnes, thank you for joining me at the Court Wine Bar this afternoon.
That's my pleasure, John.
Bronwyn, I suppose what's unusual about you, if I can put it that way, is you're heavily involved in the mining sector, and there's not many women who hold down roles, particularly at your level, in the area of mining.
No, I think it's quite often that I am the only female in the room, so I'm quite used to that.
Have you been treated differently over the years because you are a female?
I don't think it's so much about being treated differently. I think I've probably had different experiences in the mining industry. I guess I came into the industry by quite a different route than most people would enter, and I actually, came through the arts. So, I have a degree in French and medieval history and then postgraduate work in business.
And Bronwyn, when you're on the mining sites, obviously you're not dressed the way you are today.
No.
Do you dress down just a little bit, or?
I dress down quite a lot. I do wear my steel caps and my khaki shirts and my long pants and no makeup with my hair tied back.
Because I think a lot of people find it hard to believe that that is what you actually do. Looking
yes.
at you today on TV.
It's a very different world. The world that I operate in when I'm in West Africa. It's very remote. There's no running water. There's no electricity. The roads are all gravel roads for the last 190 kilometres that we go towards the mine site.
So that's in stark contrast to your life in the western suburbs in Perth.
Correct. But we can still manage to get some good French wine if you bring it with you.
And Bronwyn, it seems as though you almost have absolutely no downtime, but do you find time to get away from all of this?
Look, I do enjoy being at the beach, and that's the one thing that I do every morning is walk along the beach, quite early. My other downtime tends to be associated with my family and close friends, but I sort of feel that I do have quite a bit to contribute and a lot I want to achieve, so I'm quite happy sort of limiting those downtimes.
And Bronwyn, you're quite a passionate supporter of the Liberal Party?
Yes, I am a passionate supporter of the 500 Club.
And whilst we're on Liberal politics, do you think Tony Abbott would make a good Prime Minister of Australia?
I think that the voting public always gets the Prime Minister it deserves.
Well, that's a very diplomatic and careful answer, Bronwyn Barnes. Bronwyn, one of the places that you like travelling to as part of your job and also for relaxation, I believe, is Paris.
Yes.
What is it about Paris that appeals to you?
Look, I think I've always loved French. I've always loved speaking French and being in French cultures. So for me, the current role that I have, where I do get to be in Paris, every 6 weeks or so, is a wonderful opportunity just for me to maintain my connection.
Do you think there's much that WA can learn from Paris in terms of its architecture and culture?
I think that in terms of culture, what we see when we go to Paris is a very high level of interest in the arts and in very modern forms of art, that can manifest themselves in street art and in public places. I think that lends a wonderful vibrancy to any culture, and I think that is something that I would love to see more of in Perth, particularly given the climate that we have here. It is really quite
one of the criticisms we have of the Perth city is that its architecture by and large is appalling, and that any new building that goes up is also appalling in terms of its design and shape.
Look, I'm a pretty dyed-in-the-wool Perth girl, having been born and bred here, so I'm quite happy to defend the architecture of Perth, and I love our City Council house. I think that that's a wonderfully iconic piece of architecture that really reflects the era in which it was built.
Bronwyn Barnes, thank you very much for joining me at the Court Wine Bar this afternoon.
My pleasure, thanks John.